Oh, he's going up in the stands.
See this over here?
Oh, attaboy, Doug! You know, when I think of a goon, when I think of a hockey goon, I think of Marty McSorley. I'm from Boston. I think of the Bruins. The film was actually based on Doug Smith's book a little bit.
Yeah.
But you actually took some inspiration from your father and from some other places. Talk about sort of inspiration for the story and the characters.
Yeah,
in the film.
sure. So to me, Doug and the movie itself are sort of an amalgam of Doug Smith, who the book Goon is about. This guy called Mike Bajorny, who is featured in what I think is the best sports documentary of all time, a movie called Les Chiefs, about this minor league team in Quebec, and he's born to a family of doctors, but wants to fight and play hockey, and his family just doesn't get it. And then my dad, because I'm half Jewish on my dad's side, and it's impossible for me to separate my connection to hockey and hockey fighting from my dad and his sort of first-generation Jewish immigrant experience, because that was just part and parcel. He was the only Jewish kid on his block, and grew up fighting, and then he ended up playing on an all-Jewish hockey team. And I was lucky enough to meet a guy that played hockey with my dad about 8 years ago, and I said, so tell me, just be honest, how good was my dad? And he goes, how do I put this? And I'm thinking, yeah, great, this is vindication, because he always talked like he was friggin' Gretzky, and he wanted nothing more than for me to play hockey. And he was like, your father liked to finish his checks. And I was like, oh, right. I was like, that's perfectly in keeping with what I know of my dad. So that's it, and all of that kind of came together and created this guy.
Awesome, awesome. Well, and with your character, Doug, Seann, he's a little different than the characters we've seen you play in the past. He's not a fast-talking.
Very different.
Yeah. Was that a different sort of approach for you as an actor to take on this role?
Oh, for sure, yeah. But it was everything that the character stood for, everything that the movie offered, So, but definitely just the character. It was so interesting to me, and but it wasn't like I was just going into the movie going, I just want to do something different. It was like, I don't care if I had never done American Pie or this film. It was like, this would have been the movie that I would have loved to have done. That was the reason why I moved to Los Angeles to pursue acting.
What was it that you liked about the character or the film, or just
the script was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, all the characters. But I think, I mean, as much as I can go on and on about the different layers of Doug Ladd, it was also just like the little kid in me is like, okay, get to play a good guy that just gets to beat the shit out of people, and he's doing it because he wants to protect people. I mean, that's like the coolest superhero ever, and he's real.
And he's got a big heart. I mean, his heart's in the right place,
absolutely.
even if his mind isn't necessarily.
No, he's a knight.
Right.
He's literally a knight.
Right.
Yeah. And I love the relationship. It's sort of a mentor relationship, but also a rivalry between you and Ross, Liev's character.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that rivalry, and then also working with Liev? He's a beast in this movie. He's a monster.
Yeah. Well, I could talk about because Jay wrote that the rivalry, but like just working with Liev I learned a hell of a lot. I mean, he's just such an awesome guy, and I was. I was nervous with the fight because he's really strong. He's a big boy, and I knew he wasn't going to hold back. So I had to kind of match his energy. But it was just one of my favorite parts of the whole experience, and watching the scene in the diner, and going, well, okay, I didn't ruin it. You know what I mean? Because he's so good that I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't ruin that scene. Or it's not so noticeable that he's such an awesome, I was like, okay. No, it's true.
No, you totally hold your own, but I know what you mean. I mean, he's an intense,
he's the real deal. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
But you can answer as far as like how you shape the
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, that's just like they are the yin and the yang, I was doing an interview with on the Merrick versus Wyshynski podcast yesterday, and they pointed out that Ross is talking to himself in that scene. He's talking to the young version of himself and trying to warn him and save him from all the heartbreak he knows that's coming. But then Seann kind of reignites the flame, and that's when you see that brilliant moment, that's all Liev's doing at the end of the flick, where Liev smiles. That's how he wanted to go out. That's like the game's in good hands. And because, he's jaded and cynic and sees himself as nothing but a piece of meat, but this kid reminds him, yeah, okay, that's one way of looking at it, but we also do something of incredible merit. And so they just kind of, they bring each other's game up, and it's like a symbiotic thing. One can't really exist without the other.
Yeah, it's awesome. Movie reminds me of Slapshot, of course. Other comedies, other sort of sports comedies, maybe not in the hockey genre, that you guys love that sort of inspired you with this film?
Major League.
Yeah.
I think is pretty great. I mean, it's weird to me. It's more about just watching funny people of a particular class relate to each other. And so for me, what I would cite as a huge influence on this, as crazy as it might sound, is any of the Roddy Doyle Barrytown trilogy. So The Commitments, The Snapper, The Van, and that's all just really foul, coarse language. It's really just normal, nice people interacting with each other, and it's just this thing that they get this vibe. It's this thing where being crass and being tough doesn't mean you're not nice or polite. Right. And that's kind of this vibe that we tried to bring into this.
Hey, you wanna go?
Yeah, okay.
Good luck, man.
Good luck to you too, bud.
Knock him out.